All right, everyone. Welcome to this week's wellness workshop. And we have a very special guest tonight joining us. Her name is Shauna, and she is actually one of the top leaders in Canada. And we're just very grateful to have her here and to share a little bit about her story. So we're going to keep this like super fun, just, really a back and forth conversation. And as we're going through just some questions and as Shauna shares her story, if anybody has any questions for her, I'm going to say she's an open book. She probably is an open book. So go ahead and put anything in the chat box. And then, of course, after we chat with Shauna, we just have a few slides and a little bit of information and some things you guys maybe will be very interested in hearing towards the end of the call as well. So, Shauna, thank you so much for being here. She has a lot on her plate right now. She is actually 8 months pregnant. So the fact that she's taking time in her evening, because evenings are typically when we're feeling pretty drained. So the fact that she's here and willing to do this for us, we're just really grateful. So welcome, Shauna. And I would love if you could just share a little bit about your story. I know you started about 8 years ago when you were actually a college student. So what was life like back then, and what made you decide to join BODi as a partner?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So going back to when I was 21, I was someone who gained weight in college. The classic going out to the bars, eating like crap, and just treating my body like garbage. And my college roommate at the time, she was doing insanity workouts in the basement and she looked amazing. She was a part of a community. And I was just like sort of watching her on the side. I never really asked questions. I was just like, oh my God, she looks so happy. I was going to the gym, but obviously I wasn't getting results because I wasn't following any type of nutrition plan. And I wasn't following anything at the gym. Like I would just show up and go on the treadmill kind of thing. And then when I had moved home from college, she shared with me that she was running a 21-day boot camp. And I was like, this is perfect, like something that I need right now. And I want to like gain my confidence back, like 30-minute workouts. I just landed my first job. So I knew that 30 minutes in the morning would be something that was like doable for me. So I went all in with 21 Day Fix, bought the DVDs, the Shakeology, the portion control containers, and I went all in for 3 weeks, saw incredible results, and I fell in love with the community and the workouts in general. And I actually did 21 Day Fix for 3 months because back then it was just the DVDs. So
Awesome. So then how did you end up learning that this was a business opportunity? Like at what point did you start thinking like, oh, like there's more to this?
yeah, so she was sharing that she was going, I think I watched her go to Nashville. And she was sharing that, this business that she was doing was helping her pay for her wedding at the time. And I was like, wait, like this is actually a business opportunity. Like I didn't know that this was a thing. So she had reached out to me a bunch of times, but I was so like, when I say I was introverted, I was introverted. Like anything to do with public speaking, putting myself out there, like presentations, anything like that. Like I was so shy. My face would go red, like I was shaky, like any of that, like putting myself out there. I was like, there's no way I could do this. Like there's no way I could put myself out there on social media. But I did keep watching. I was one of those people that continued to watch on social media. And she just kept sharing like what it was doing for her at the time and like how it was helping her pay for things. And I already loved the workouts and the community. Like, so it was always in the back of my head. And then she had shared she was, doing a sneak peek type of deal, like sharing info about the business. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go for it. And so I learned more about the business, and there was just something inside me saying, like, you have to go for this. I don't know what it was, but there was something that was just like, you have to try this. And here we are 8 years later. Crazy to think, had I not said yes and like went for it despite being scared, despite having all those fears, like my life would look completely different now, especially now that I'm pregnant and I actually get to stay home with my baby, which was a huge goal of mine. Um, so yeah, I guess like her just sharing about the opportunity was like really intrigued me. But I didn't know it was actually like a business opportunity when I first signed up. I just thought it was like the workouts and being a part of the community.
Yeah, I think that like a lot of us had no idea. Like I know I had no idea either getting started. And it's kind of like, oh, wait, there's more to this. Like you guys aren't just doing this out of the goodness of your heart. Like you're
Yeah.
actually getting paid to help people. And it's just like a whole other world once you get onto the business side of things within BODi. So what did like your first few months as a partner? Like, what were they like? Did you come into this thinking like, oh, I'm gonna like blow this up and earn a full-time income so that I can eventually be a stay-at-home mom? Or like how did that start out for you?
Yeah. So, like I said, I kind of came into this business very shy. So, I didn't really have that confidence and belief in myself and thinking that I could make this a full-time job. So, when I kind of talked to my upline about like what my goals were, I just kind of was like, yeah, like I just want to treat this as a hobby, like something for fun, like make a few extra dollars here and there. Like I was a college student, like I just finished college. So I was like, this is perfect to help me start paying off student debt. And so I just had like small, manageable goals that I had for this business. It wasn't like, I'm going to build this business. I just didn't have that confidence yet. And so when I first started, I just kind of told her my goals and she helped me achieve those goals in terms of like how much income I wanted to make that month. Like she would break that down for me, like how many people I had to help that month. And so she kind of helped me in terms of like what I should do each month in order to build my business. And so I did start off a little bit slow, but I always set like daily non-negotiables for my business because I knew over time it would help me achieve those financial goals. So yeah, at the beginning, I didn't really have that confidence in knowing that I could build a business to be able to leave my job eventually. But of course, like once you start to get the hang of things and you get more comfortable and you get more confident, that's where you'll start to see things take off.
Yeah, and it is hard to like see this like big vision in the beginning, right? Like I think back to, 9 years ago when I started and I never could have I just I didn't have that belief either, that confidence. Like you just think like,
Mhm.
oh no, that's crazy. Like I can't allow myself to think that big. Like I'm just gonna think about this month or this week. But when you get into this and then you start to see success stories and you hear about people just like yourself and Michelle and you think like, oh, well, they're no different than I am. Like maybe I could actually do this. And it's time. It just takes time. It takes time for you to sort of evolve from who you are when you start into the version that can create something like pretty big and impactful. So
Mhm.
I love that. What was something that you had to really work at overcoming in the beginning? Like I'm assuming it wasn't just like, oh, this is easy, off I go, and success just, came naturally.
Right.
Was there anything that you can kind of remember that was like, this was tough and maybe even almost stopped you from continuing?
I think like what I really focused on was like personal development and like making sure I was like showing up for my morning routine and like pouring into myself first. Because I was someone who didn't really have that confidence in the very beginning. And so making sure I was like really diving into that. And that's like a huge part of our job, which I loved about this business was like your job is literally to show up for yourself and dive into personal development and you know follow a fitness routine that you love. And so that was something that like really helped me build my confidence. And I'm sure there's so many books out there that people recommend, but a book that really helped me was The Slight Edge. Like that is like a go-to book that I tell everyone to read. And The Universe Has Your Back was a really good book that helped me. But I think just being consistent and like working on my mindset, because if I didn't work on my mindset, like my confidence would not be here. Like also when I first started, I did not believe in like reading or personal development. Like I was like, people that do that are so silly. But like still to this day, 8 years later, I'm still working on my mindset. So I think that's really key.
Yeah. And imagine like if we had growth day, like, a lot of people on this call utilize our app growth day. And if we had had something like that 8, 9 years ago, my gosh, it would just have been like so amazing. Um, so what is life like now for you, and how has it changed? Like how have you evolved because of this business?
So I was working like a full-time job. I was an early childhood educator in a kindergarten classroom. So when I kind of decided like I don't want to do that job for the rest of my life, I kind of continued to work really hard at this business. And so it was in 2021 that I was able to leave that job and pursue this business full time. And had I not like put the time in the mornings before work or on my lunch break, or pockets of my day, like that was really important to me, was to help me build my business, was doing those pockets of my day. And even though it seemed like a lot at the time, I knew it would be 100% worth it. And so now, like that I'm pregnant, expecting my first baby, I get to stay home with my baby. And that was like a huge goal of mine, like building my business starting 8 years ago, was to eventually be able to build this business in terms of being a stay-at-home mom. Um, Also, like my confidence has changed. Like I can come speak on calls. I actually spoke at our big event last year. They asked me to speak on stage and I was like freaking. But to think like 8 years ago, I would have completely said no. Like there was no way. I probably would have fainted on the stage, but it just felt so right. So yeah, I've definitely come a long way in terms of confidence and the business.
Yeah, I love hearing the answer to that, for many different partners, because it's like, it's not necessarily the income that changes our life or the traveling opportunities or like the big things that we think. It's like
Mhm.
actually like who we become in the process, and that's what really changes our life so much. I do have another question. Was there a moment like over these past 8 years where, you were working full time and doing this on the side? Like, was there this moment where you're like, I need to I need to make this work. I want something different. And like, did you just kind of like hit this like, line in the sand, and I want something different? Like instead of just,
Mhm.
oh, I'll do this on the side and work full time. Like, what was that moment like?
Yeah, so I always thought like working in a kindergarten classroom, like that's what I always wanted to do. It was like always like comfortable to me. I loved working with kids. And then I got the job and I like noticed that I was like living for the weekends, like always counting down the day till Friday, um, always waiting till the next vacation or March break. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like this doesn't like I'm young, like I literally just got my first job. Like, how am I feeling like this already? So I think I just got comfortable in the fact that working in a kindergarten classroom was something that I thought I wanted to do. And then when I started this business, I would literally get so excited to come home and work it. And I think like having that passion there was the first thing, but also like the freedom of time and like making memories with my family and not having to ask for time off. Those were just like big for me. And I thought like if I work hard now, my life 3, 4, 5 years from now could look so different. So putting in that time a few years ago may have felt like a lot, but it was something I was passionate about. So it wasn't like adding anything extra to my plate.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much, Shauna. This was like really, really good. Is there anything that you want to share, like any piece of your story that maybe we didn't touch upon that you would like everyone to hear?
I think like my advice to someone who is like watching this and you are like kind of having all these fears, or like you have something in the back of your mind and you're just like overthinking it, like I always say, just go for it, because you never know unless you try. Like, had I never put my fears aside, had I never, said yes and just tried it, you'll never know unless you actually try. So I always just say, like, put the fears aside, do it scared. Because every time you start something new, it's going to be scary. Every time, especially social media, I feel like a lot of people are scared to put themselves out there. But I feel like the people that love you and support you, like they will be so excited for you, especially if it's something that you love. And I found like that was one of my biggest fears, was judgment, which is normal. Like, we're human, we're all afraid of what other people think of us. But after a while, like a lot of people are actually so supportive of what you're doing. And if anything, like you're showing up to help people, and you're helping yourself in the process. So that's always like my biggest thing, is just to go for it, even if it feels scary in the beginning.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think like so many of us would say the same thing, like if I hadn't have done this, my whole life would look so different. And so it is easy for us to sit up here and be like, you should try it. Like you have nothing to lose and your whole life could be
Hmm.
so different. But it's so true because there isn't a whole lot to lose. Like I always say worst case scenario, you're going to get healthy and fit and meet
Right.
some new friends. That's like the least amount that's good that's going to come from this. Or there's like you change your whole life and impact so many people and, become this version of yourself that you maybe never believed that you could be. There
Mhm.
is actually a question in here. So, any advice for younger people? I'm 19 and keep getting stuck in this loop.
Yeah, I guess, well, I started at 21, so I was young too. Um, and honestly, like I fell in love with it, and like I said, I did it scared. So even though my posts may have looked silly at the beginning, or like you may have felt silly posting it at the beginning, um, you'll have so much people that actually support you. And if it's something that you love, like you'll get excited to post about it. You'll get excited to show up for it. I guess it all too depends on like what sort of advice you're looking for, like what loop you're in. Like, is it adding extra time to your plate? Are you afraid of judgment? Like, my answer could be different for depending on what you're stuck in. Young people.
Oh, yeah, you can read that there.
Um, there's actually a lot of people who are interested in health and fitness who are young. Like a lot of people that, currently I'm trying to connect with people who are moms or expecting. But especially like at 19, like you could connect with a lot of women in their teens who are looking for something like this. Like you never know until you ask them. I feel a lot of the time we just assume that people aren't interested because we don't have that confidence yet. But there's actually a lot of people out there who would actually like love this, especially because thinking back to when I was just finishing off college and I was young, like this was something that I needed, and I didn't like I never reached out to my own roommate, right? So if she hadn't asked me, like I probably wouldn't have reached out. So there is a lot of people who are interested. You just have to ask. Um, how did you get over the judgment? Any tips? I think I think a lot of it was, no matter what you do, people are going to judge you. And I just kept thinking like the right people who are in my life and who are supportive and who, you know, are there for me, like that's all that matters. There might be people who judge you at the beginning and join you later. I've had that before. They've watched me from the sidelines and they were not interested at the beginning, and they ended up being on my team, right? So sometimes it's a jealousy thing, sometimes it's their own, personal life thing. They might not even be judging you specifically. Maybe it's actually something that they need at the time. They're just not wanting to say it out loud. Um, but I always just think like the right people will show up. And if they're not interested or they want to judge, then they can unfollow kind of thing. But I try not to let it get to me.
Yeah, and quite often, I mean, we hear it all the time. People aren't necessarily judging us as much as we think they are. They are like they're just so worried about what people are saying about them that like that's just what we're all doing. We're all so concerned with what people are thinking about us that no one's actually thinking about us. So
No.
like you might as well just do what you want to do because if they are going to judge you, they're going to judge you no matter what. And odds are they're not. We're not that important. We're not that special. So like, and I always think it's so wild that we as humans and it's probably more so women, we will literally make a decision based on what people will think about us or won't think about us. So there's so many people who will never say yes to this opportunity because they're afraid of what people might say about them. And that's just crazy. Like you'll hold yourself back in life from doing something really massive and really impactful and something so good for yourself and for your family, all because you're afraid of Sally down the road judging you. Like, we need to stop that. So, anyways, thank you so much, Shauna. This was really, really awesome. And if anybody does have questions, just throw them in the chat box. And we're just going to pass it off to Michelle, and she's going to share a few things.
Awesome. Shauna, that was amazing. And I'm just going to share a takeaway because clearly Shauna is much younger than I am. Probably by about 35 years. No, I don't know. I don't math. But what I loved about her story is the why is all the same. So everything that she shared, really, when I started this at 40 and she started at 21, the why of what we were doing was so similar. It was rooted in the same foundation, which I think is so cool. You wanted to help other people, you wanted to gain confidence, you wanted more flexibility for your future family, where you might be sitting here in your 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s, and right, you're still saying those same words. You still want confidence, you still want health, you still want to help and serve and impact other people, and you want more flexibility. Your actual end game might look a little bit different, but just like Megan said, it's the exact same mission, which I think is really, really cool. So if you have that heart of service, if you have that like little piece inside of you that wants to make an impact, and there is nothing wrong, you guys, with wanting more flexibility. Like there's nothing wrong with wanting more income. We as women have to get over ourselves and stop apologizing for wanting more in life. It's okay. And right now we need it. Like, I don't know, have you bought eggs lately? Because they are really expensive. So we need it. There's nothing wrong with having that desire, no matter what age you are. So Shauna, I'm just so glad and grateful you came because I'm often talking to women sort of in my age bracket, and it was so nice to hear your story and just really how similar it was. So I appreciate it. Okay, I'm just gonna share some boring screens. We're going to, or some boring slides. We're gonna talk about the opportunity a little bit so you can see exactly what it means to join as a BODi partner. Now, just let me get everything situated here, guys. Megan, you're the only person I can see. Can you see my screens, slides?
I can. It's just not in like presenter view, I don't think. Like I can see your Canva.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
We're
Yep, now it's good.
Okay, perfect. So how do we actually generate additional income with the BODi partnership? First, I just want you to think about something for a minute. If you've been considering this, I want you to think about the times that you share what you love with your family and friends. Most of us now are even sharing on social media when we find something we love. You find something at Costco and you're blasting it all over your social media. You go to Starbucks and get your first pumpkin spice latte, and all of a sudden we're all talking about Starbucks. But the truth is, we're not getting paid from Starbucks or Costco, which is totally fine. We don't need to be compensated for everything in life, but why not? when there's an opportunity to get compensated for sharing something that you love, why wouldn't you? I know when I first started, I was in love with BODi. It was helping me create so many different goals in my life, which were all health related at the time. And I couldn't wait to tell other people. I was telling other people for free every day, all day at my hair salon. And when I learned that I could actually create some income for myself and my family, it was literally a no-brainer. So becoming a BODi partner is a way to share what you use, love, and is working for you with the people in your life and earn commissions for it. Now, our story. I do want to make sure everyone realizes we have a couple different teams on our call tonight. So what I think is really, really important is for you to go back to the person that invited you to watch this call, whether you're watching the replay or you're here live. And I want you to ask them, what's their BODi story? You've heard Shauna's story, and maybe if you know me or followed me or Megan, you know our stories, but everybody has a BODi story. Some people are doing this because they want to earn an additional stream of income for expenses or extras. It's a way to earn money alongside a full-time career. I know in my team, which is a pretty large organization, I'm actually the only one that does this full-time as a full-time career. That was my dream. I wanted to close my salon and spa and work from home, but everyone else is still working, whether it's really, really part-time, like Megan goes in as a nurse every once in a while and still has that career. But I have women working full-time and doing this alongside. So it doesn't have to be that you want to work from home for the rest of your life. It can really just be something extra. Some people join just for the friendships and community. There's something really, really impactful about being part of a community of women and men, but primarily on our team, it is women who are all trying to up-level their life. There's something different about surrounding yourself with people like that. A lot of people on my team anyway love the fact that you can earn these tropical vacations and incentives. BODi gives some amazing incentives for reaching different goals throughout the year. And one of them is, it's called our Success Club trip. And I know a lot of us on this call have been to them. They go to 5-star resorts in the Caribbean, and it's just a really, really fun time. And you are treated like royalty. People do it for the ability to work from home full time. And this is one that I think is often overlooked, but something about joining BODi, you are going to develop and learn so many skills for online businesses. I have seen people come in and learn a ton about starting their BODi business and then going on and doing other things online because of what they've learned here. So I want you to just take a minute and imagine getting paid for your healthy habits, getting paid to do your workout every single day, getting paid to work on your nutrition, getting paid to elevate your life with your mindset, and getting paid to be consistent. Because the truth is, I don't think I would have stayed consistent to any of those things if I hadn't been a partner. It's one thing to be a customer in our accountability groups and be in our challenge groups and love that vibe, but it is a whole other layer of accountability when you are a partner. When you know that there's people watching you and you're showing up for them, you really do stay committed, especially through life. I have now been a partner. Actually, next week is my 10-year anniversary as a BODi partner. And life has happened. Let me tell you, a lot of life has happened in these past 10 years. And I know if I hadn't had that layer of accountability of being a partner, there's no way that those would have made it to the top of my list. But they have, because I was getting paid to do it. We get to share with others what we found to help create a whole new way of life. And then we get to support other people and keep them accountable. The possibilities are endless when you become a BODi partner. The training and resources are all done for you, and you are literally taken through every single step that can help you see success and earn income as early as the first week of you starting. I actually have a couple partners on this call right now who literally signed up and earned income that same day or the very next day. It is very possible when you are being trained properly. Now, I know one of the biggest objections that I hear all the time is it feels scary and I don't want to be salesy. And I hear you, neither did I. We get that objection because we had it as well. But we have helped many women get past this. The truth is, there have been people that have done this type of business inside this type of industry wrong for many, many years. But we do it right. We are not asking you to cold message or harass your friends and family. No one will ever ask you to do that. You have a choice to use social media or not. I truly do believe that you can build this business and not be plastering yourself all over social media if you don't feel comfortable doing it. Now, in saying that, social media is a free platform where you can advertise your business. So will growth be faster using social media? Most likely, but it's not necessary. Our team hosts these free weekly wellness workshops every single week, and we want our whole team to use these as a resource. And we cover different products, programs, and of course the business opportunity like tonight. So we do have some partners that just use these wellness workshops. They invite to them because they're free, and we do the selling for you. You are going to have training and support from the top Canadian leaders and training from our corporate office. You don't sign up and then just are let go on your own to try and figure this out. You are really supported from the very first day that you start. And you always have a supportive community of women doing this business right alongside of you. And not only will that create friendships, it'll create accountability, but that's where your confidence is going to grow. When you are surrounding yourself with other people doing the same thing, you start building that confidence day by day. And just like anything in life, what starts out as scary within a very short period of time is just something that you're doing all the time, and you look back and you think, oh my gosh, I can't believe that was something that I was scared about, because you build up your confidence as you go. So one of the burning questions for everyone is, how do we earn? And one of the coolest things about network marketing is there's multiple ways of earning by doing the same thing. Now, I'm going to break down the simplest way to explain this. But if you have like deeper questions about the compensation plan, you need to reach out to whoever's invited you, and they can literally give you a copy of our compensation plan so you can read it, or at least they can answer your questions. But here's what is the most basic way that we earn. We earn commissions on every single thing we sell. So this is one of our most popular packages. It's called a Total Solution Pack. And it gives you one of our supplements. It gives you a year's access to our streaming service, BODi, and it gives you some other little freebies thrown in. This would be our most popular package that most people start with. And you could earn, depending on the exchange rate at the time, around $85 when you sell this. We earn between 20 and 40% commission on everything we have to offer. So this is literally one of probably 100 different things that you can earn commission on inside our product catalog. This is an example of the first piece of our compensation plan. So anyone that joins as a partner, you're going to be able to have this opportunity to earn commission. As you grow in your own business, there are actually 9 different ways to earn income, including several bonus opportunities, team cycle opportunities, and volume-based earnings. Again, this is a little bit deeper than for the purpose of this call, but if you're really curious about those extra ways to earn income, definitely reach out. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to whoever invited you, and we can kind of break all of that down so you understand it. Now there's 4 options to join as a business partner. Of course, you can join as a customer, which maybe many of you are. We have a preferred customer option, which just allows you to have a discount on all of our supplements. But the 2 that I really want to talk about tonight are a BODi affiliate partner or a BODi business partner. A BODi affiliate partner is someone that really doesn't have any interest in growing a business like Shauna or myself or Megan has. You're really just wanting to maybe have a little bit of extra income. This would be the type of person that would share some links on her Instagram stories and maybe has a couple friends here and there that want to join. You're not looking to run any sort of accountability or support groups. You're not looking to build a team of any kind. You really just are here, you like it, you love what you're using, and you don't mind sharing it here and there. A BODi business partner, however, is someone that really is looking at this as an opportunity to change their wealth and change their finances. They're looking to impact people, to support people, to serve people. They're here to really make a difference, build a team, and grow some wealth. The coolest thing about network marketing is the option for anyone, no matter what age you are, size you are, what kind of education you have the ability to really create some wealth. But in doing that, you need to be a BODi business partner. So all people are welcome on our teams. We need everybody, affiliates, preferred customers, business partners. So really reach out to the person that invited you to this call, and maybe you can chat about what you really want, and they will help you sort of direct you to the best option. Now, as we end, we want to invite you to our new partner mentorship. We believe in giving you the best support so you can get started right. We have a new partner mentorship starting Monday, May 6th. That's next Monday. You'll be supported and given the exact steps to take to grow your business in a simple and effective way that is fun and profitable. The deadline to join this mentorship is this Friday night at midnight. And we absolutely love taking people through this mentorship because we, as the leaders of this team, get to really get to know you. We get to help support you and kind of lead you down a path that aligns with whatever goals you have. So make sure that if this is really kind of piquing your interest, I always say to people, at the end of the day, what do you have to lose? I think Megan said that earlier. If you're still here, if you're still listening to this replay or you're still here live, it's probably something that your inner wisdom or your heart is telling you, go for it. And I just say, go for it. You don't have anything to lose, and you're going to be supported every single step of the way. And that's everything. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. I hope that this gave you a really good breakdown of what being a BODi partner really is, how we kind of work with it. I'm just looking at the questions. I don't think there is any. And perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you again, Shauna. That was amazing. I really appreciated you sharing your story. And I know there'll be lots of people that want the recording, so I will get that up and ready as soon as possible. Thanks, guys.